What really struck us and why we went all in on this whole blockchain movement is we just realized there's a fundamental problem in the world that needs to be solved. We think what blockchain really represents, the finishing of an internet of value, is the completion of globalization. We just thought there was just a matter of time before the world was going to have some form of a digital currency that had no government behind it or no counterparty.
What is the prospect of having that spot ETF tied to XRP?
It's just inevitable. You're going to see not just Bitcoin and ETH, you're going to see an XRP ETF.
There's been this really misguided war on crypto that was a huge mistake, that just resulted in sort of giving leadership to Singapore and London when it should have been in the US.
I think no matter what happens, we're going to leave behind a failed approach from the Biden administration. It has been an attack, and it isn't just the SEC. You know, look, the OCC is hostile towards crypto. The Treasury is hostile towards crypto.
But I think the good news now is that the war on crypto is over. We're really excited by her economic message. It is a message now of pro-innovation. I think the Harris, administration, look, their DNA is from, the world capital of innovation right here in the Bay Area. That the place that's created more trillion-dollar companies than any place on the planet. She gets that. So I'm just really, really confident that this is going to be a completely different approach.
XRP is not just another crypto. It is going to be in this new financial system. We've studied this from all different angles. We've looked at this. We've shown so much evidence and proof that it is coming. And I believe that the price has been held at a particular level for a reason, and that is all planned.
In today's episode, I'll be explaining why the co-founder of Ripple is paving the way for one of the most incredible bull runs we will ever see for XRP. That's right, I believe 2025 is going to be a phenomenal year for Ripple and XRP, and that this is just the start of something massive. So XRP holders, buckle up. You're going to love this episode. I'm also going to give my price prediction by the end of the episode and some hidden gems that nobody is talking about. So Chris Larsen is basically making the statement that the war on crypto will end regardless of who wins, and that he's excited by Kamala Harris's innovative approach to crypto. Chris Larsen recently shook things up by donating $10 million to the Harris administration, and it set the X world on fire, who just couldn't understand why Ripple, who has been sued by the SEC and pursued relentlessly, would be donating to the Democrats in the same administration that has been holding XRP and Ripple back for so many years. But is he actually anticipating something that no one else is talking about in crypto? And is XRP being highly slept on because of this? I believe so. So if we dissect a little bit of his messaging, the war on crypto will be over regardless of who wins, he says, and that he's very excited by Kamala's message of pro-innovation. Now, many found this to be odd, as Kamala hasn't really said much by way of crypto at all, and has been very vague in everything she has said, at most saying that she'll somehow figure out a good stance on crypto regulation, although it's all wishy-washy at best. So what is Chris Larsen thinking here, and why is he playing his cards this way? We're going to dig into that now as we dissect the video a little bit more. But first, who is Chris Larsen? So Chris Larsen has been dubbed by Forbes to be the richest man in crypto, although we all know that title goes to CZ from Binance. But he is from Silicon Valley. Now, he's been an angel investor in many startups, tech startups in Silicon Valley. His current net worth is $3 billion, and he is a highly influential player in the traditional financial world. Here's some notes from the Forbes editor. Chris Larsen co-founded Ripple in 2012 to facilitate international payments for banks using blockchain technology. Ripple counts American Express and Santander among its 100-plus customers. Larsen stepped down as Ripple CEO in 2016, but remains executive chairman. Prior to Ripple, he co-founded online mortgage lender eLoan in 1996 and Prosper, a peer-to-peer lender, in 2005. And in April 2019, Larsen and his foundation gave $25 million, largely in XRP, to San Francisco State University. This is actually very important when trying to figure out just exactly why he is donating this money to the Harris administration. They're working on globalization and money, and They call this the banking coin. They don't call it the banking coin for a reason. They're working on global remittances. And it takes time. It takes time because regulation needs to fall in line. So all the people calling XRP a ghost chain, it's going to zero, it's dead. I mean, do you really think that Chris Larsen, this financial powerhouse from traditional finance, and the driving force behind this whole thing is just going to let Ripple go to zero? I mean, obviously, to me, it's obvious that the price has been suppressed for a very long time due to a massive lack of regulation and now bad regulation by the Biden administration. So he's seizing the opportunity as the administration changes to try to set the tone for Kamala to come in. I see it as he's hedging his bets.
There's been this really misguided war on crypto that's been led by Senator Warren. And I think everybody has realized that that was a huge mistake, that just resulted in sort of giving leadership to Singapore and London when it should have been in the US. It didn't protect consumers. It allowed sketchy foreign operators like FTX to rip off American consumers. So that's been a failure. But I think the good news now is that we see this sort of bipartisan support from whomever wins the White House, whether it is the Republicans or the Democrats. I think the war on crypto is over. And look, we want to encourage pro-digital asset political leaders. Excited by her economic message. It is a message now of pro-innovation and making sure that, our American champions dominate, their industries around the world. So I'm excited about that. I think the Harris, administration, look, their DNA is from, the world capital of innovation right here in the Bay Area, that the place that's created more trillion-dollar companies than any place on the planet. She gets that.
This is the tweet that all crypto Twitter was up in arms about. It's time for the Democrats to have a new approach to tech innovation, including crypto. I believe Kamala Harris will ensure that American technology dominates the world, which is why I'm donating $10 million in XRP in support of her. I mean, it's smart. He's one of the only big players stepping up, and one of the ones that's been sued, by the way, stepping up and saying, I support you. I support your pro-innovation message, even though she really hasn't put that out there. And let's go forward. Interesting. While crypto Twitter, or X, is all up in flames about him donating to the same administration that sued him, Chris Larsen is playing chess. That's what I believe. He knows Trump is pro-crypto. If Trump comes in, he'll be more relaxed regulation. Things will be easier. Maybe he's hedging his bets. But it almost sounds as if he's actually knows for a fact that Kamala is going to win. It's very strange. Like in the video that I showed you yesterday, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, about how the elections will influence crypto. All of the VCs and the institutional type players are betting actually that Kamala will win and shake things up. So maybe this could be a hedge that he thinks, okay, I'm going to set the tone now for her to change her tune and for XRP to finally have its day in the sun. And if so, if that pro-regulation comes as he speaks about, and also I thought it's interesting that he says she's from here, DNA is from the Bay Area where all these trillion-dollar companies have been created. She knows that. She gets it. It almost sounds like a threat. I don't know. It's very kind of ominous. It's just kind of like he's like, hey, I'm a donor. I'm a big player here. Don't mess with me. Don't try to mess this up like Biden did. Stop the war on crypto. This is what's happening. Fall in line and everything will be okay. I don't know. It just got that tone to it. But just things are about to change for XRP. That's what I truly believe. And we're on the verge of watching this now, this price that's been coiling up for years and years and years, to have a massive explosion. So he's being very vocal now, and a lot of people are starting to question the timing of this. It would make a lot of sense to start being vocal right before a change in administration, right before lobbying and rallying for this administration to come into power. That will allow Ripple and XRP to thrive. Does he know something we don't? That is the question. Very well so. So it very well could be. Here, and also, it's not that he's just being vocal about that. He's being vocal about certain things he doesn't like within the current administration either. Ripple chairman Chris Larsen says, Gary Gensler has been the worst public servant in U.S. history.
Let me just say, I think Gary Gensler has been the worst public servant that we've ever had in this country. It's been incredibly damaging to this country. But look, I think we need to be really thoughtful here. But I'm not going to empower Gary Gensler to have any excuse, on what happens with his future.
So he is basically telling Kamala the current administration is a disaster. Gary Gensler was the worst thing we've ever seen for this industry, but I believe you're going to do better. I believe you can be the deciding factor in bringing this innovation back to America. Chris Larsen is telling you now what XRP community has been telling you over the past years. By the way, why is he going more public now all of a sudden? Did Ripple beat the SEC and has not yet made that public? Yeah, there's all these unanswered questions as to why now? Why now come out and make this massive donation? Why now start talking about things, being vocal? I mean, I believe something big is brewing here, guys. Let's have a listen.
An established currency. And it was actually declared formally a currency by the Treasury Department, FinCEN, in a settlement back in 2015, which to us, that was crystal clear. This is a currency. And as a currency, it's exempt from regulation under the SEC. That should be as a commodity, a currency, and under the CFTC. So certainly to me, that seemed crystal clear. But, I think, again, these are new things, even though they've been around for a while. And I know the regulators are well-intentioned. But it's kind of this fight on, hey, who owns the regulation of this industry? And that's fine. But, what they should be doing is making clear new rules. These are new technologies. And I think a bit of the problem is, trying to fit something like blockchain and interoperability protocols and cryptocurrencies, trying to fit that into rules that were established, 7 decades ago.
Yeah, so he's referring to the Howey test that was established 70 years ago to determine whether or not something is a security. It's like fitting a round peg into a square hole. It just doesn't work anymore. This is new tech. This is new innovation. This is the changing of an entire world order. And with that should come new rules and new regulations. But pay attention to his tone and his wording, right? He's saying, I know the regulators are well-intentioned. He is not coming out as anti-slamming. He is coming out as the current administration fumbled this, but I know you can do better, Kamala. You've got it in your DNA. It's a very interesting way of going about things. And I think he's doing actually what he should be doing. But most of X sees this as some sort of betrayal or, giving into the powers that be that are ruining everything for the world. But he's just playing chess, guys. He's playing chess and hedging his bets in case she comes into office. He's paving the way and setting the tone for her to be able to say, hey, he's come out in favor of this. He wants to have a conversation. Let's do it. I think it's smart. And also, following his lead was Hayden Adams, who came out in support of Kamala as well in a similar way. So Jennifer Epstein put this out. News. VP Harris says at a fundraiser on Wall Street that she will encourage innovation technologies like AI and digital assets while protecting our consumers and investors. So Chris Larsen took that and spun it into a big narrative, paving the way for XRP. And Hayden Adams came out from Uniswap and said something similar. Now, the SEC also went after Uniswap. So it's interesting that the two that are being targeted, well, two of the many, are coming out and saying, hey, we'll put the current administration aside. Kamala, we know that you have good intentions toward this industry. When in reality, this is all she's really said. Is that really saying much? I don't really think so, but they're playing chess. Kamala just said she would encourage innovative technologies like digital assets. I believe this is her first time referencing crypto publicly, and it's in a positive way. So that's Uniswap coming out and saying, hey, me too. I also want to have favorable regulation. I also want you to I think it's brilliant. I think it's good. And then we have people on Twitter being like, she's literally suing you, LOL. Are you stupid? Well, maybe actually they're smarter than most people think.
What is the prospect of having that spot ETF tied to XRP anytime soon? And what do you think it'll mean for the price of XRP?
Look, I think we clearly are seeing ETFs have been popular. The United States SEC was dragged kicking and screaming to approve the Bitcoin ETF in January. I think you've seen about $17 billion flow into that ETF. I think it's the fastest growing ETF in history. It's very clearly demonstrating there's demand from institutions, there's demand from retail to access this asset class. So the XRP interest has grown. You've seen 2 or 3 ETF filings happen around XRP. And to me, it's just inevitable. You're going to see not just Bitcoin and ETH, you're going to see an XRP ETF.
Boom, it's inevitable. You know why? Also, I believe this is going to be the bull run of all bull runs, the mother run for XRP, is because now we have institutions stepping in. We've got the Bitcoin ETFs, we've got a new administration, we've got a demand for better regulation, and this is the maturation in the industry that big plays like XRP and banking plays and plays that require that regulation to be in place to function properly, it's going to be their year. And not just their year, but their decade. This is just the beginning, right? So here we have the XRP daily chart. And as you can see, a whole lot of sideways. I mean, XRP holders have been very, very patient. It's been a long road, but it's just like the longer you coil in a rubber band, the farther it shoots, right? As soon as it takes off. So that's the way I see it. We're currently on a massive level of support here around 52 cents. And this could be the year every XRP holder has been waiting for. So I broke it down a little bit as far as price predictions for this cycle. Now, just to hit the previous all-time high is a 7x from here. And, you know, if positive regulation comes out, apart from all of the other factors I'm about to show you now about what's happening for XRP in the future or what's been brewing in the background, then it should be a no-brainer that it's going to hit its all-time high, right? And if things are really, really bullish and Kamala comes out or whoever is in power, Trump, if it's Trump, then forget it, right? It's over. We're off to the moon. But if it's Kamala and she comes out and says, hey, we're going to start regulating this in a way where XRP can operate as well in the US, then I don't see why it shouldn't be able to at least double what it did in its previous all-time high. That would be a 15x from here and around a $7.80 XRP. I believe that's attainable for this cycle if it takes off in a way that I'm anticipating if that regulation comes to fruition. And there's a lot of things brewing for XRP. Now, on a blow-off top, really heated, something crazy, $10 to $15 XRP could be possible. But within the realm of possibility is definitely back to its all-time high and potentially up to $8, right? And I know that sounds crazy right now, and it is possible. I truly believe so. So XRP holders, you're in for a very, very big surprise, I do believe. Now, this is not financial advice, it's just what I'm doing, but I've been loading up a little bit more here at support. I've been holding XRP for a very long time, and I'm excited for what's going to come. In addition to that, we have the announcement of an XRP documentary, everything that's been happening, potentially behind the scenes that we aren't aware of as just retail investors, right? Boom, new trailer for the world's first XRP documentary. It will be released on November 21st. Let's have a look.
SEC is preparing to sue that crypto startup. The asset in question here is called XRP.
Jay Clayton drops this lawsuit on his last day in office, like mission accomplished.
We became convinced that this whole case was merely a show.
The SEC has become a rogue agency.
And our approach for the last several years have been just really a disaster.
Day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
We don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar.
The SEC came out and said Ether is also not a security.
We believe current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions.
I also have, some theories as to some of the non-legal things that the SEC was trying to do.
He was also being paid as a profit-sharing partner from his law firm, Simpson Thacher. That mission of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance was fulfilled.
Hinman has this unique personal financial interest. He could not be involved in certain matters because they benefited him financially.
These two individuals are working at crypto firms that made very big bets on Ethereum.
Jay Clayton, within a couple of months, goes to One River, who benefited from this decision. When you follow the money, it paints a very clear picture. China's financial elite working with the U.S. financial elite and the regulators of the U.S. financial system to front-run the new global digital financial system.
who wins? That's the question here. Who wins? Because I think that China wins.
Charles said the Chinese have been courting Vitalik hard.
Finally, I made a video, I'll link to it now at the end so you can go watch it if you haven't, from a 25-year Wall Street veteran, Linda P. Jones, who speaks about the XRP perpetual futures and what that means for XRP price. And this was 11 months ago that I put that video up. Let's just have a listen to one clip from this video.
All of those things, Linda, to me just tells me we're on the right path. As long as I stay the right path, that's what helps me be patient. Price will take care of itself. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm of the mindset that, this is a 3 to 5 year minimum hold, but we're going to see price action within that time horizon. Now, I came in 2020, so I'm already 3 years into it. So I think the next few years are going to be where the major movement is.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that if people are expecting, where's the money? Where's the money? If they think of this as a lottery ticket, they're not in the right mindset, right? So, and that's why I tweeted that this is not just another crypto. XRP is not just another crypto. It is going to be in this new financial system. We've studied this from all different angles. We've looked at this. We've shown so much evidence and proof that it is coming. And I believe that the price has been held at a particular level for a reason, and that is all planned.
Lots of gems in what she just said. You must go back and watch this video that I made if you haven't watched it yet, if you're an XRP holder. She's 25-year Wall Street veteran, says this will be a part of our new financial system. And that's what we've been lacking, is an industry that's mature, an industry that has BlackRock in it. And that's why this is the year, guys. Wake up. If you're flooding XRP, if you're thinking it's going to zero, that's not happening. She's saying it's a 3 to 5 year play. It's already been 3 years. These next 2 years are going to be explosive. And finally, Ripple news, Japanese banks to embrace Ripple's XRP by 2025. CEO, I'm not going to pronounce his name, announces that banks in Japan will begin using Ripple's XRP for transactions by 2025. The strategic move aims to position Japan as a leader in blockchain technology and accelerate nationwide crypto adoption. Wow. So banks around the world are embracing this, yet they aren't able to in the US because of this whole anti-crypto administration, which is all about to change in 5 days. This is big. This is huge. If you like this content, like, subscribe, and share this with all of your friends so that we can get the message out there. We can get the hype going, and also motivates me to continue to do videos like this. And so that's it. I'm your host, Megan Nelson, aka Crypto Megan. And also, please do let me know where you're tuning in from, as I love to connect with this audience. I love you guys. It's been a phenomenal day. I'll see you tomorrow.